All right, says we are live, so just go check the stream.
Oh, did it let me back on?
Looks like we are good.
I just want you to know my entire laptop basically crashed, and all I could hear was noises in the background, but nothing else would load.
Oh, lovely. It's a good way to start a stream off. Okay.
Because I was over here trying to pull up the set list, and it was like, oh no, you want the set list, and everything.
Well, yeah, your internet is kind of choppy as well. Give people a little bit of
It's better.
time to trickle in. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I looked up card list, and it brought everything up in a full giant. Okay, I can.
All right. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and get going here, and yeah, so it'll be good for the playback for YouTube. All right, so let me switch camera angles here. So we did a poll. I believe I put it up on Saturday. We got 79 votes for what you guys wanted to see: BT16 decks, BT15 current meta, which we went over like 2 weeks ago or so, I think, maybe 2 or 3. Market Watch, which we did that cards to get video, so that was kind of like a mini market watch, not a true market watch, but sort of. And then deck building process. So and that's not just like general like my normal deck profile videos. That's like the thought behind like how to go about building a like competitive deck, right? Like general all right, well, what's the format look like? Okay, how much of my deck should I keep open for like tech cards, right, to be able to handle meta, and just kind of that whole thought process. But BT16 decks won out by a pretty large margin there. So yeah, literally you could combine all the others and they still couldn't beat the BT16 votes. So that's what we were going to jump into. We'll probably post another one for next week's as well on what we want to discuss. So make sure you guys get in on the voting, so that way you make sure that we do whatever it is you want to do. All right, so I've got BT16 pulled up in front of me. How about you?
Define pulled up.
I mean, I assume you've got it on .dev. Is your computer still giving you problems?
It is on. I'm on the website that I use, and it's pulled up only the Japanese, and that's it.
Oh, that's not very useful. Okay, well, while you try to figure out how you're going to do this, we'll go ahead and just kind of dive into it. So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the new decks in BT16. That or decks that are getting enough support to warrant like mentioning them, right? So I just kind of grabbed a couple different cards, one to help me remember, as well as like decks we're going to talk about. So we've got Imperial, I've got Lord Knight, we've got Vaccine Angels, we got the TyrantKabuterimon, we got Brigadramon here representing your standard like D-Brigade list that's now like kind of a Digipolice deck. We've got the new Chaosmon, which is like the amalgamation of like, it's not just D-Brigade, right? It's like a new way to play. It's called a boss deck. Like literally the trait is boss. So I would say it's kind of its own deck at this point. Not really a D-Brigade deck. We've got the new Sock deck, the Durgoramon. So with his new tamer, we've got the purple-red Imperialdramon, the, what is this, the virus type? Yeah, so we got the virus type Imperialdramon as well. I threw Cherubimon in here just because I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit, as it's like the new like alliance way to play alliance if you want to go that route. We got Myotismon on the list, actually made the list because it actually has a decent amount of support. We've got the Ukamon deck, right? So we got a new Ukamon as well as a big Ukamon and a Tamer to go with them. And they're pretty neat. So we'll talk about that one. And of course, the two at the end that pretty much everyone is aware of and we all know is going to be crazy is the Rapidmon deck and the Magnamon deck. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Do you want to talk about a deck first, or do you want me to talk about a deck first?
Well, before we do, so you said dive, and the first thing that loaded on my screen was Divemon. So very, very fitting.
Wow, that's wild. Oh.
Yeah, we can start. We can start with Virus Imperial. I know a bit about that.
All right, go for it. So what are we dealing with on this one? Like what's changing, right? What's making this more viable than ever before?
Well, a big being the.
Oh man, he just like hard cut out for me.
Getting a new Vmon and getting a new.
Whoa.
Because the.
Oh, sorry. You weren't talking, and then it like played all of your audio all at once for me.
So of course we got the new blue-red Vmon and X Vmon. And then it's got the your turn once per turn when one of your Digimon is played or Digivolved, and it has free trait or is green, gain 1. That makes it a bit cheaper to do your other stuff. And then you end up playing a bunch of stuff off the virus things. So if you just got one of those out on the board, you're like, oh, hey, gain 1.
Okay.
And then we got of course, the Inheritable giving +2. It's loading and it's low.
Right.
And then we got the new XV actually giving the deck access to Raid. Because it's on play when Digivolving, one of your Digimon can't be deleted in battle till the end of your opponent's turn. That's really good with stuff like Partition now. Because you can trigger that for the on play and it's going to be like, okay, well, the new stack I'm fixed, or the stack that I have made with the Pyldra or Dino B can be like, oh, hey, yeah, so we're not affected by battle, basically. +2. Oh no, this website's doing the thing.
That's what you get for not using the great.dev.
Oh, I switched to DocDev.
Oh no. Also, can you guys hear him okay? Last week he was apparently super quiet, so if you can't hear him, let me know.
And then, so we got the Wormmon. Start of your main phase on play. If it's your turn, one of your Digimon evolve into a level 4 Digimon card with Insectoid or free trait in your trash with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. The trash part is so good for both Imperial and Virus Imperial, especially Virus.
Oh yeah, Virus is super good in, for sure, because they have to do all that trash setup anyway, so they're always throwing their pieces into trash.
And then one of the Inheritable being when attacking once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Yeah. Like, because you're just you're gonna like DN anyway. So I mean, you just swing with like, let's say you have X Vmon over, you just swing and be like, okay, suspend, and then be like, okay, DNA, and then just attack over it.
Yeah, and then you get to trigger the once per turn again on your DNA as well. Yeah, this guy is super good. I've actually thinking about changing up my BT16 Imperial list to work in a couple of these potentially, because like that Inheritable on a rookie is just super strong. Just there's like no stipulation, no like restricted to like a DP amount or anything like that. They're just like, no, you just do it. It's pretty good. Like the Tentomon, right, that we got a set or two ago. It's just like, yeah, you just suspend something on the field, yours or your opponent's.
Yeah. And then of course we got the new Stigmon. So it's got built-in retaliation, and then it's got on play. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and the Inheritable is the exact same, except not when Digimon.
It's a pretty good nasty combination there. Just like immediately Evo, and then oh look, I've got Retail, and I just suspended your big thing, your big threat.
And then looks like, if I can find it, the new DNA of the deck.
Yeah, the Dino B.
The new favorite boy. So he's got the DNA purple and red. He's got Raid and Partition. And the Raid is what makes this card really good.
I don't know. I think it's the Partition myself, but
I mean, yeah, but you can also get it where it can't be deleted by battle. So you can just be like, okay, raid into something that's like the same DP as me, and then be like, okay, well, you die, but I don't.
Right.
But when digivolving, if DNA digivolve, you may play a level 5 or lower card with free trade from trash without paying the cost, and then one of your Digimons gain a rush for the turn and may attack a player.
Yeah, immediately. So even if you like pass turn DNAing into this Dino B, right, you can still play that guy out. He can attack and do all that fun shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
And then he's got the Partition as well. And for those that aren't familiar with that old Imperial deck, it was all about like it was kind of like the Alter S deck, right, where it just kind of like stair steps up, and then boom, you're like, even if you pass turn, you're DNAing no matter what, and you can still like the combo, just the way the deck is built and the abilities. It's just like you just keep going and going and going, even if turn has passed. So yeah, Partition, crazy good ability here. For those that aren't aware, when this Digimon with one of each specified card is in its Digivolution cards would leave the battle area other than by one of your effects or in battle, you may play one of each card without paying their cost. So yeah, your whatever's evoed on top of this guy, it would die through some sort of an effect, right? It's so solid, and then you just spin out the 2 level 4s to go right back into a new DNA stack with. So really strong, kind of similar to that old starter deck Imperial that we had, that just on Evo he would spit out the 2 level 4s, but this one is like no, keep using your stack until it would leave the field. So you combine this with like your jamming inheritables, or the like Yugo Souls was talking about, that new XVmon that he just can't be deleted by battle, so your opponent can't even get away with blocking you anymore. And then so yeah, you're just gonna be in a really powerful position here with Partition in this deck, I think. So really exciting. And also there was a promo a little while ago. I'm going to back out of BT16 right quick. Well, let's look at Shade. I don't know. I don't remember how to spell it. There we go. Got it on the first try. Right. So this was, when did this come out? What was this promo in? Do you remember?
BT14. I'm forgetting the set name.
Yeah.
Last days.
Box topper, right? All right. So Evos for 2 on top of your Wormmon. When digivolving, you may play 1 Vmon or Wormmon from your trash suspended without paying the cost. On deletion, you may play 1 Vmon or Wormmon from your hand suspended without paying the cost. So this just kind of allows you to repeatedly build and build and build. So even though your stack keeps dying, it's just so hyper efficient in everything it does. So really going to be a really cool deck to see. Now, how well it will do like in the meta, that's kind of to be determined. I was looking up like results in JP, and it doesn't have a great turnout. Now, there is some turnout though, so I still think it's gonna be worth keeping an eye on if you are a fan though. So let's jump into the next one here. You know what, we'll just go ahead and stay on the Imperial route since we've already talked about a lot of the stuff. We'll talk about the new Imperial. Now, for the most part, nothing's really changed. We're still doing a lot of the same stuff that we were doing before. Literally, your low end almost doesn't change. There's argument for putting in the new Vmon or putting in the new Wormmon. But really, the big card that kind of like makes Imperial potentially really great again is going to be the new Imperialdramon, right? So just like how the new Imperial or the old virus type got Dino B, our blue-green version got Imperialdramon here. So we get Partition as well, which Desperately needed. I was telling Yugo Souls a few weeks ago, it's like the only reason I ever stopped playing Imperial the first time around is because of all the security bombs just like decimating me. It's like, cool, I've got jamming, I've got board removal, I've got tons of attacks, just like everything you want out of a blue deck. And then I would hit into an option card and like, that's it, game over, done. GG, you're done, right? But now we've got partition. So I'm like, even if I run into those situations, I just spit out my level 4s and then we just DNA right in and go right back into it. So partition alone, I think, is going to make this deck do really well. But also, he's got a nice when Digivolving, suspend all your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digivolution cards as this Digimon. Then, if DNA Digivolving, all of your opponent's Digimon can't unsuspend until the end of your opponent's turn. So it's like two separate little things right there. So one, the suspend was really nice, especially if you're DNAing. In theory, you've got 2 level 4s going into him, one of which will have a baby and a rookie. The other one might have a rookie as well. That's potentially 5 inheritables underneath him, which is going to be hitting big targets, which is really strong. Anything but maybe like an X antibody deck that's going to have like multiples of the same level. But even if you don't target anything, say your opponent's whole field is already suspended and you just take 2 level 4s and go into this Imperialdramon. He's only got 2 inheritables, but that's okay, because just because you DNA'd, you can keep all their stuff. Can't unsuspend until the end of your opponent's turn. So really good for locking down the board, because Pyuldra's pretty much known for his like offensive capability, and usually the Dino B was more the control stuff. So it's really nice that we see it here. And then when attacking once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. If this effect didn't unsuspend this Digimon. So there's our offensive, our multiple attacks, right? We don't lose out on our multiple attacks with Pyuldramon, which is, what we loved about the original. And so because of his when Digivolving, that's a good way to take out most of your opponent's targets, but as well as the Wormmon we were talking about when Yugo Souls was going over the virus type. When attacking once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So if you attack, say there was something you couldn't suspend, it just had too many sources or something, if you have this Wormmon underneath, you attack, make sure you trigger this effect first to suspend that last target, and then use your Pyuldramon when attacking to basically unsuspend himself. Super, super good stuff here. So really looking forward to this deck, as well as we had a new Dragon mode and Fighter mode here. They're like super solid. I don't think they're like crazy game breaking. Like partition really, really amplifies this. I've got 2 different versions of this deck. One using the BT12 support, and then also one using the BT16. Both are super popular. If you want to go and look up like meta.com, you can see that both variants of the deck are really, really solid. Really good control pieces here, but what really sells me is the ace, right? Because now we get an ace in the deck, and that's really strong. Because right now I've been testing, and the top end feels kind of awkward if you can't get into it and do all your stuff. Mega Gargomon Ace, super strong, right? And you see it being teched into a lot of green decks. But now we've got our Fighter Mode Ace, which we can just Evo on top of our level 5s with. If we want to blast Evo straight into this guy on top of level 5, we can do that, right? Return one of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digivolution cards than this Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So that's really strong. 8 play cost here. You probably don't want to hard play it because you're not going to have any sources there. But end of attack once per turn, unsuspend this Digimon. That's one of the things that's kind of bugged me about a lot of the fighter modes. It's like, cool, my unsuspend effects are on my dragon mode. I can do it one time, and then they let me go into like a fighter mode, like super efficient. But then the fighter mode's like a one-shot thing, and then he's just kind of done. But this one, like end of attack, once per turn, we can unsuspend, so we can just keep this guy on the field. It'll feel good. Then if Dragon Mode is in this Digimon Digivolution card, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Anything, as long as it's suspended. So again, combine this with like that Wormmon we were talking about, and just every time you end your attack with this fighter mode, you're bouncing something to the bottom of the deck. Whereas the old fighter modes are like, oh, you have to get rid of your dragon mode and you get to do this one time. This guy's like, nah, I'm just going to do this every single turn. I'm going to unsuspend, so I'm going to get 2 attacks, and I'm going to clear a body off the field. So this fighter mode, super good. I'm really looking forward to this new blue-green Imperial for sure.
Another card that I was that is, I think, is going to make that deck speed up a lot for both Imperial and Virus Imperial is going to be the new Davis and Ken.
Oh yeah, it's super good. I don't really like the one in BT17, but I do love this one in BT16. Yeah, start of your main phase, you may play one Vmon or Wormmon from your hand without paying the cost. At the next time your opponent's turn ends, return that Digimon to the hand. But if you're DNAing with it, right, you just get to keep it. So there's like basically no drawback.
Yeah, and the other card too that works out pretty good for both that because you run that in Virus Imperial just for the playing stuff, but the 3-cost option that you got for that helps out both in again Imperial and Virus Imperial. The support was made for both decks.
Yeah,
It's
you got it.
yeah, I clicked on the wrong card. I clicked on the Sylphie one. I'm like, wait, this isn't reading as Imperialdramon. Because it's main, you may play an XVmon or Steammon from your hand without paying the cost. Then 2 of your Digimon may DNA, Digivolve into a Digimon card in your hand until the end of your opponent's turn. This Digimon effect, or this Digimon's DNA Digivolution can't be deleted in battle and gains blocker.
Yeah. So that'll be really nice. Yeah, so it's a super cheap play cost, right? So if you go for the more expensive ones with the 4 play cost or whatever XVs that gain you that memory back when you DNA with them, like it makes this card almost free, especially if you use, one of each of them. It basically makes this a 1 play cost card that gets you into a DNA that can't be deleted by battle and has blocker. And of course, you're going to have your partition more than likely as well to protect you against losing out on your pieces versus option cards. So yeah, super good stuff here. Really fantastic support for Imperial in general. Like even the Davis and the Ken here is like you're going to get good mileage out of that in Virus type as well. So
the security plays a Vmon or a Wormmon from hand or trash.
Yeah. So especially good for Virus decks that are just like filling their trash like mad, because that deck can be a little slow. So if you really want to speed through it, you really got to play those like mill cards basically, because draw trash cards are basically dead at this point, sadly, because of all the hits because of Apocalypse. We lost so much like draw trash cards, so now you're pretty much, for a deck like this, I think you really need to go heavy on those mill cards, like Darkness Wave, I think it is like 1 play cost, mill 3.
Yeah. So
all right, what do we got next? Do you want to talk about Lord Knight for us?
Oh yeah, I'll talk about Lord Knight. I'll be the problem. Nothing ever changes for me, I see.
Yep.
I can't find what I was looking for in this set. I might be thinking of a different set. Where did you go?
Well, Valkyrie is in red, if that's what you're looking for.
I was actually looking for the Armadillomon because I couldn't remember if I ran it in there or not, because I thought it was black-yellow.
It is.
Okay. I was like, I remember it was used just for extra DP. So, okay, your turn, the Armadillomon. Your turn once per turn when one of your other Digimon is played or Digivolved. If it has Freedom's Trait or is yellow, game 1. So it's really good for just going up into like your Gladamon or your other got the other card I'm running in mind now. Man, mostly just your night stuff, and then of course you're still running the old Upamon that if you have 3 or less, draw 1. But the all turns plus 1,000's good for Lord Knight because she's just, if it's not your turn, she's 11, and it's not fun. So the other card, the big card that we actually end up getting for this set that makes Lord Knight a bit viable is going to be Valkyremon, the ace. So, because she is a warrior, so she can be played off of Lord Knight's effect, since she only plays out warriors or yellow level 3s. So, she's got, and then of course, you can get your Knightmons out, so she becomes a Blast Ego target for those. But she's got on play when digivolving. All your opponent's Digimon get neg 5,000 for the turn. And then her all turns effect is all turns once per turn. When a card is removed from a security stack, delete one of your opponent's 8,000 DP or lower Digimon. If this effect didn't delete, this Digimon gains security attack +1 until the end of your turn. So what's really good about this is if my opponent is swinging at me and hits security and she's on board, if she's not deleting something with 8,000 DP or less, she is getting a security attack until the end of my turn. So immediately on my turn, she is swinging for 2 checks.
So how are you triggering it during the opponent's turn? It's just being on the field because when they check one of yours.
It's just all turns when a card is removed from a security stack.
Right. So yeah, if your Valkyrie is sitting on field and they swing into your security, she can either pop something, which is really strong. I mean, you definitely feel the yellow vibes there, deleting in the opponent's turn. But then also that gains that security attack +1 potentially as well if you don't pop something. And then, it comes back to you. And then you could either, swing with this, right? And you're going to check that first security because you're a security attack +1, right? You swing, you check that first one. You immediately get another security attack bonus in the middle of your attacks because it's an all turns ability, right? It's not a a triggering effect, sort of like a when attacking her or anything like that. So yeah, it immediately applies even if you're mid attack. So you go from security attack +1 to security attack +2. So
3 checks. Normally it's two checks, but it can be three checks. Now again, the only counterpart is kind of my issue with aces. When they leave the board, you lose a lot.
Yeah.
But for a card like Valkyremon, with how much benefit it gives you, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a
12,000 DP also. It's solid for sure. Because most of the time, there's not going to be any inheritables on this, right? It's going to be just hard played, sort of hard played, right? Because we're talking about Lord Knight, and for those wondering how the correlation here is, Lord Knight's effect, when attacking, you may play a yellow level 3 Digimon card or a yellow Digimon card with Warrior in its type from your hand without paying the memory cost. And Valkyrie is a Warrior, so
they've been staying heavy away from saying anything with Warrior because I think they're like, we don't want to go back to Lord Knight format.
Right, yeah. So kind of like how they treat purple option cards, right? If they're making a 7-cost purple option card, they've got to think long and hard on how to restrict it to being 7th lightning, right? Or something like that, where it's only useful in certain kind of decks and not abusable in BL Star. So any and that goes for really any color. Anytime they make a 7-cost option, they're like, all right, can BL Star abuse this? If so, we might want to reconsider. So, and that's kind of how you treat the Warrior typing as well, because Lord Knight can very easily abuse it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So another card that has been on my radar to consider, we already talked about the Armadillomon, but the Ankylamon from this set, and then of course the Shakumon, because it's black yellow. I'll remember effects. It's got barrier, and it's on play when digivolving. One of your opponent's Digimon can't attack players until the end of their turn. The thing is, you're dropping so many rookies that are yellow that you can just digivolve this and immediately go, okay, well, if it's too late and my opponent could possibly swing for game, you just go Armadillo or Ankylamon. We're gonna stop that for the turn, and then it's still another one where the inheritable all turns gets +1,000.
Right.
And then of course we got Shakumon. So DNA digivolves from black and yellow, and it's got partition. When digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon isn't affected by their effects of their Digimon. Then if DNA digivolved, place one of your opponent's Digimon with a higher or lower level as the number of Digivolution cards in your or their security stack at the bottom of their security stack. Rule: this is also treated as an angel. And then inheritable is partition.
And you're talking about using this in Lord Knight?
Yep.
Interesting. And
Is the armadillo and then the Ankyla
right.
are actually really good pieces for just boosting your Lord Knight number up.
Gotcha.
Because, yep. And of course, if it comes down to it as well, you can just go, okay, DNA, and go, well, I have to clear something out for a minute, Valkyremon over, and then it's basically an ace Valkyremon with partition.
Yep.
That's also a big number as well. And like instead of being worried, oh, I'm gonna hit something, you're gonna be like, okay, well, if I swing, I'm gonna be at 14.
Yeah. That'll be much nicer. And Benjamin in chat here, talking about Valkyremon Ace, we're assuming basically you played the Valkyremon like on the turn before your opponent, right? So you swing with your Lord Knight, you play out the Valkyremon, and then you pass turn eventually to your opponent. They attack you, they check your security, right? Valkyremon's just chilling, hard played because of Lord Knight, and then they eventually pass turn back to you, and now you've got your Valkyremon with the security attack +1 because of the middle of their turn. That's mostly what kind of referring to there. Now you could also blast Evo it, when the opponent attacks and before the security stack or before a security check goes through as well. But yeah, so that just the intent there is mostly just you're going to play this guy off of Lord Knight during your own turn, and then it's going to pass to your opponent's turn. They're going to check your security. So every time that they want to check your security while Valkyrie's just chilling on field, they have to worry about this all turns effect. So
Yeah.
also it's really it won't have rush, but even if they play it off the Lord Knight and then they immediately check a security right after playing this, like boom, we pop an 8K body. Like that's really cool.
Yeah. The other thing is too, the way that Zhu Chao reads is Zhu Chao is at the end of the turn. This is till the end of your turn, and it's an all turns effect.
Yeah, until the end of your turn, specifically there.
That's the difference between Zhu Chao and Sylphie, or not Sylphie, Valkyrie.
Yeah, super strong. Which is a bit surprising that they worded it like that. Honestly,
I wonder if they just forgot that Lord Knight was a card.
I mean, it has been a while, so it's been a while. All right, next up, let's go. Very briefly on Vaccine Angels, there's not a crazy amount of stuff in here or anything like that, but we do have a couple cards that I wanted to touch on because we got basically three new cards. We got a new Patamon, which is start of your main phase or on play. If it's your turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 4 card with Angel or free trait from your hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. So this is really nice for a couple different stuff. It'll actually come back up for vaccine rabbits later when we get there, or vaccine armor rather. But it also is kind of like your other Patamon, right? You're going to promote this up. Boom, start a main phase. I'm going to Digivolve, but instead of relying on cards in my security, I can just go ahead and use a card in my hand and then Evo for a reduced cost. And then inheritable when attacking, trash the top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. So a little bit of a blue thing going on there. Not like crazy strong, but I think it will be a nice addition to the deck. And so you don't have to worry about the one that's like, oh, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by reducing to 0 DP, gain 1 memory. This guy's just like, I'll just get you that level 4 super efficiently, without worry, without your opponent having to play into it for you. There's a new Angemon. I'm not overly thrilled about it or anything. It's okay. Unsuspend one of your level 4 lower Digimon when Digivolving or on play. And attacking is the same as the Patamon. But the other big card that I'm excited about is the new Magna Angemon. I think this will be a good maybe 2 of in the vaccine deck. So on play or when Digivolving, if it's your turn, search your security stack. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Angel or 3 Great Angels trait, among them with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. Then shuffle your security stack. If Digivolved by this effect, you may place one Digimon with Angel, Archangel, or three Great Angels trait from your hand at the bottom of your security stack. So instantly just replace it with whatever you need. Also gives blocker to your bodies that evo on top of this. So if you're not going with like maybe a Venus, but if you're sticking with like the typical Seraphi, like this will be a great one to go with that, because you can just reduce the evo cost by 2. And what's even better about this is, even if it's like a 3 evo on top of an Angemon, right, and you would be passing turn, his when Digivolving effect triggers, and you immediately can go into a Seraphi, even if you've already passed turn by evoing into this guy. So then you can, get that Seraphi recovery, pop, all that fun stuff. So, of course, he does require some setup, but most of the Vaccine Angel deck already does, so it's nothing too crazy new. But yeah, I think he's really good, and he replaces something right back into the stack. Now, typically these kind of effects are you want to put in the next thing that you're going to evo into. It's not really going to be the case so much for this. I don't think there's any level 7 Angel, Archangels, or 3 Great Angels. I keep saying dragons. Too much Yu-Gi-Oh in my life. 3 Great Angels. So I don't think there's any level 7s. If there is, let me know. But then the blocker as well. So I think it'll be a really nice included card for the Vaccine Angel deck.
This deck gets so much support literally in EX. What, 6? Is it 7? What's the next one?
6. Yeah, 6 is the next one. Yeah, it gets crazy. All the Mass Day stuff and all the Angel stuff is crazy in the next set. So, but yeah, this is a nice little taste, and just something to, like, all you Vaccine Angel players out there, like, just a little bit of like an appetizer or just a snack to kind of tide you over and continue playing the deck. Don't give up on it, because you're going to get a little bit of support here, and then a month later when we get our EX set, you're going to get a ton of support. So I like it. I think it was a really good use of space in this set, honestly. They're just like, hey, here's like 3 cards for this established archetype that are going to be really solid. You're going to really enjoy. All right, that is it for Angels. What do we got next?
The best card in existence, Sheeppmon.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't remember Sheeppmon? We had a whole conversation about it because it was dumb.
Nope, don't even remember.
It's the new sheet. The Digivolves from Armadillomon for cost 2 has Armor Purge, Collision, and it's all turns once per turn. When an attack target is switched, you may end the attack.
Oh, yeah. Is that in this set?
Yeah.
Where is that? That's in green, right?
No, it's a yellow-black card.
Oh, here it is. Okay. This card is pretty wild, though. Like, actually, yeah, we'll talk about bugs in just a second, Jack. But, like, just as a one-off random card that seems really strong. Collision. So he's got Armor Purge. He's got Collision as well. During this Digimon's attack, all of your opponent's Digimon gain blocker, and your opponent blocks if able. So it forces your opponent to block with something, and then all turns once per turn. When an attack target is switched, you may end the battle. So basically, you swing with this guy, you force your opponent to block you, and then you just end the battle before the opponent can actually, like, kill you or whatever, and then you basically force your opponent, you bait out their blocks, and then you actually swing with whatever is important. So crazy.
The Craniumon blocker deck is going to use this as a 4 of, and I feel threatened.
Yeah, it's honestly also, if you think about the timing on this, is after the opponent chooses to block. So this is after Blast Evo timing. So your opponent like Blast Evos into Mega Gargomon out of nowhere. You weren't expecting it. Who runs Mega Gargomon in whatever random deck that they threw it in that it happens to Evo, it can Evo. And they're like, and now I block. And you're like, well, good thing I've got my Sheeppmon on field to protect that thing that was attacking. I'm just going to end that attack right now. So, as just a random one-off card, yellow-black, it's really solid. All right. TyrantKabuterimon. I had to study up a little bit on this card. I'm not going to lie, because I was like, okay, it seems solid, but wow, the hype behind this is crazy, right? I don't know if you're tracking any of it, but people are hyped for this Tyrant Kabuterimon.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was hyping it for a bit, and then I was like, oh wait, I could play Lord Knight this format.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about it. So it's really bringing like a lot of bug stuff back, right? Because we haven't really seen bug since the limits on
Grand.
yeah, Grandis Kowagamon. So Kowagamon decks, were super rampant for a while, and then that deck got hit, and it just completely died out. So we'll finally see a resurgence of some bug decks out there. Like we've had green, we've had the fairies and the plants and stuff like that, but we're finally going to see a return of the bugs here. So can Digivolve on top of another level 6 for cost of 2, so it's 13 play cost or less. So basically he makes it so you can't evo on top of himself. And then when digivolving, you may play one Digimon card with the Insectoid or Larva trait from your hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 8. That's a lot of things in this game, like a lot. And they've actually been throwing a lot of green on play level 4s at us for a while now. So, and also we get our on play effects. I think they've really kind of gone away from that development idea of, well, you get to play a free body. We can't allow you to also get your on play effects. Like, no, now I think pretty much anytime we get to play something, we always get the on play effects at least. So all you old players out there know what I'm talking about. All you new players are like, what? They limited that before? Yeah, it was a rough time. Okay. All turns while this Digimon is suspended, it isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. So like something in general, you'd be like retaliation, right? I swing with this guy, he's suspended during my opponent's turn. Oh no, they're going to swing into me with like retail, right? Or they're going to what is it? What's the big green card? The Hydramon, right? They can't Hydramon you. So that's really nice. And then end of your turn, once per turn, by suspending one of your other Digimon, return one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to the DP of the Digimon suspended by this effect to the bottom of the deck. It does specify other Digimon, so you can't target himself with this. But I guess the general idea right off the bat, the obvious thing is suspend the thing that you just played for the Evo cost, right? That play cost of 8. So. And
yeah, the other thing big about this card too is because you have it in an insect deck, and most of the stuff, like I think it's the EX1 stuff, is just like plus 1,000, plus 1,000, plus 1,000. So like it's gonna like you're probably bound. That is huge.
right. So it's gonna be interesting. Some of the techs I was looking at, like what were like the top performing ones running, right? So first off, the Metal Life Kawagamon was pretty popular because it has an on play. It's a 7 play cost, 7,000 DP. It's pretty solid. On play by you may suspend one Digimon, then one of your Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Booyah! This guy's instantly 10k. Perfect combination with that Tyrant there. And then even the inheritable here, opponent's turn once per turn. When one of your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the attack target to one of your suspended Digimon with the Insectoid trait. We all know how powerful redirects are, right? Me as a longtime Black War Greymon X player, like being able to redirect is so solid. But also like green players that have played Cherrymon, you'll love this card because this is exactly what Cherrymon does, right? But you're going to get it on inheritable, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I like my Cherrymon, I don't want to digivolve on top of it, I don't want to lose his ability. And then this guy's like, oh yeah, I got you, like don't worry. So especially because your Tyrant is going to want to be suspended anyways, to have protection, and then you're going to have this inheritable underneath it, so you get a pick. And I love that you get to pick the target that you're changing, because like Black War Greymon X is like, oh, well, it's whatever the highest, what play cost or DP. I'm pretty sure it's play cost. You don't really get to choose, where this guy's like, oh yeah, just pick and choose whatever you want. Always keep that threat up, and then you never know when the opponent is what they're gonna choose to redirect. So
you can also play off of the effect of the Tyrant. You can play the new Grand Kawagamon Ace,
yep,
which is actually kind of stupid. So on play when digivolving, suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Cards just affects suspended can't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase, then delete one of their suspended tamers. And it's your turn once per turn when this Digimon becomes suspended. One of your Digimon gains security attack +1.
Yeah, that's it's so crazy to me, right? Because yeah, you get to play this guy for free because again, so yeah, 7 play costs, so works great with Tyrant. Boom, play this, suspend 2 things, and then delete one of your opponent's suspended tamers. Like, wow. Tamer hate on some green cards is a little unexpected, and honestly, I'm totally here for it. Like, I feel like green deserves all of this support. Green has been in such an awkward position. Like, Bloomlord feels great. Feels like a super solid deck, really, really strong. We just don't really see it do much, and I personally don't understand why. I feel like it's definitely worthy of doing well, but
it's got the same issue as a bunch of other decks. That the reason that we're not seeing it so much is Numa plays so many bodies out, Levy plays bodies out, and the cards that counter them counter Bloomlord so hard that it can't really compete.
that's fair. Yeah, that's the same issue with like D-Brigade, right? I can't really play D-Brigade in a big event. It's like, oh, you can't play Digimon by effects. Well, okay, I guess I just scooped then because it's going to be a rough time. I guess that also applies in this situation too, right? With Tyrant, like his whole effect here is playing stuff by effect. But either way,
Yeah,
still super powerful effect. If you don't run across the stuff that can counter you, you're going to be in a really good position. And yeah, this is really interesting that your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. So even if he himself attacks, he could give himself the security attack, right? Or if you so choose to give it to someone else, you can do that as well. So I think it's an interesting way to word that effect there, just to target whatever you want with it.
yeah.
All right. What do we got next here? Yeah, we just talked about D-Brigade. I guess we can go. Or do you want to talk about Chaosmon first?
I mean, Chaosmon just kind of goes in with D-Brigade, so we could just do D-Brigade.
All right, yeah, we'll just start with the D-Brigade and kind of go from there. So I like the lower end support, level 5 and less for D-Brigade that we're getting here. We've got a new Commandramon, which is cool. He's not like super crazy or anything like that, but we had kind of a flex spot. I feel like you could either run the blocker Commandramon or you could run the decoy one in the deck. But this guy I like because he has the Digipolice trait, which the deck has slowly been turning into a Digipolice stuff. It's not like crazy must-have. A lot of the cards are really flexible about it, but a lot of our tamers are only able to go into Digipolice.
Yeah.
So having more Digipolice Commandramon, I think, is the big thing for me here. So all turns, all of your other Digimon with D-Brigade or Digipolice get 1k. And this is all turns. Remember, your guys turn into blockers, thanks to Brigademon. So making all your stuff bigger is great. And then also the Inheritable does the same thing. So that's really cool. I love the new Sealsdramon, right? On player when Digivolving, by returning 3 cards with D-Brigade or Digipolice trait from your trash to the top of your deck, this Digimon gains Rush and can't be blocked for the turn. Can't be blocked for the turn. Crazy. He's only a 4 play cost. Like, not crazy. Anything too crazy there. If all the stuff we're playing for free, right? D-Brigade or Digipolice, play it for free. 4 play costs or less. So, boom. I play this guy out. I keep myself from, milling out. Because you're probably playing this off of your level 5s that typically when you play them, all the stuff they reveal go to the trash. So then he's like, okay, I'm just going to put that stuff right back onto the deck. So we're good. You don't have to worry about losing anything. And then he's going to give himself Rush and he can't be blocked. I think he's going to be really, really powerful for this deck. I'm really excited for it. And then he has that same Inheritable of that plus 1k.
I really enjoy the 1k boost because if you get enough of those Commandramons or Sealsdramon as like bottom Digivolution sources, you're just like, if your opponent shines you, it doesn't feel as bad.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then new Tankdramon. Oh my god, D-Brigade, rejoice. We don't have to use the bad Tankdramon anymore. We have something good to go with our Cargodramon. I love Cargodramon. Like, something about Cargodramon, just like the Digimon in general has been, I don't know, ever since he got revealed, I was like, I love this guy. Like, his whole concept is just really neat for me. But I digress. we got this guy. So on play or when digivolving, he has a 7 play cost, which means we can play him off of the Brigadramon if we reveal him. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. For each card with the D-Brigade trait, or D-Brigade or Digipolice trait among them, reduce the play cost of all your opponent's Digimon by 1 for the turn. That may seem really weird to you guys, but for us D-Brigade players, like, wow, that's crazy. Return the revealed cards to the top or bottom of the deck, then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. So the idea, you reveal 3 things, so you make a 7 play cost down to a 4, right? That feels really good. But it's for each, reduce the play cost of all your opponent's Digimon by 1 for the turn for each, right? So all of us D-Brigade players were like, okay, so our option card, right? Oh god, what is it? Help me.
DCD bomb.
Yeah, DCD bomb. You can delete up to 6 play costs worth of total Digimon. So if I just made all my opponent's Digimon 1 or 0 play cost Digimon and I play DCD bomb, I'm doing a crazy board wipe. But it doesn't even stop there, because if you go Brigadramon on top of this, his end of a turn effect, you can delete up to 7 play cost total worth of Digimon. So this TankDramon, oh my gosh, chef's kiss to D-Brigade players. That thing is so strong with our removal. You combine this with all of our removal cards, so good. Also, I like that he puts the cards on top or bottom. So if you reveal a bunch of duds, be like, yeah, let's get rid of those. But they're not milled, right? They don't go to the trash. So that's nice as well. And then his inheritable all turns, once per turn, when one of your other Digimon with D-Brigade or Digipolice trait is played, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. It is just a once per turn, but hey, a de-digivolve is still really powerful, even if it's only by 1. Again, it combos really great with like other stuff that we've already talked about. So you go into this guy, you reduce the play cost, you go into a Brigadramon afterwards. He's going to play out a body, right? And then your all turns ability will kick in, will de-digivolve something. And then it's the TankDramon's play cost reduction will also affect it. And then the Brigadramon's end of turn deletion effect will kick in. So crazy like combos that this deck can do now. It's going to feel really nice. I'm excited to play some D-Brigade again. It's going to be hard to find the time between playing Imperial and playing D-Brigade. Like, I'm super ecstatic for it.
You forgot an honorable mention, level 4.
What's that? Oh, the Mechanorimon, yes. He is a Digipolice as well. This one's really interesting because the premise behind Mechanorimon has always been like someone is inside piloting it. So it now has Armor Purge, and then the blocker on play by placing one of your other Digimon with the Digipolice trait as this Digimon's bottom Digipolice cards, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. And then your turn, this Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack. So it's basically like, oh, no, I have no sources. Basically, nobody is inside to pilot me now. So it's pretty neat. And then, yeah, Armor Purge. So he blows up, and the guy jumps out of the cockpit. So it's pretty neat. I just love the build of that. Like, is it good? Not really. But is it really neat and thematic? Absolutely.
It's around.
Yeah.
It's there as a choice.
It is indeed a choice. All right. So that's really it for like the D-Brigade cards that you're going to be using in your D-Brigade decks or your Digipolice decks. The DarkDramon here, I feel like, is very much just here for the boss deck, right? So if you want to take that one over, I think you're a little bit more familiar with it than I am.
So when this card will be there is a Digimon with the boss trait, reduced their play cost by 6. By returning 6 cards with D-Brigade trait from your trash to the top of the deck, reduce the play cost by 6. So let's say you have like a Bancho Leo out somehow. Or I think Bancho Leo has boss. Yeah, it does. He reduces by 6 if you're playing it, and then you return 6 more, he just becomes a 1 cost. So his on play when digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a higher or lower play cost as one of the Digimon among them. Trash the rebuild cards. So the big thing is you can put like one of your other D-Brigade cards you have in there, throw one of the high play cost up top, and be like, okay, reveal, pop the highest, pop you. But it's got the end of your turn. 2 of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into Chaosmon in the hand.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go back to him now.
I'm gonna pull up Chaosmon now. I say that as I went to what I thought was his first color, and it wasn't.
It's yellow.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I thought he was black first. I got really confused. So he's got Barrier, Blocker, and Partition. Level 6 Partition. He's got when Digivolving, D-Digivolve 3 of one of your opponent's Digimon, and then one of their Digimon gets neg 8,000 for the turn. That takes like X-Line stuff.
Oh, man.
Or very big stack decks.
You cut out. What does that do? What is the...
Oh, the when Digivolving?
No, I got that, but like, what does this affect? Like, what sort of situations?
Oh, for like very big stack decks, like Metal Greymon, or not Metal, War Greymon, and then of course Melga, because I'm a Melga player and I like to make me suffer. So,
and then end of opponent's turn, trash the top card of both players' security stack. Wow. Crazy. So that's specifically at the end of your opponent's turn. So you're going to get the value off of that before your opponent does, because it turn's going to come back to you, and now you're swinging because your opponent has that one less security. It's going to feel really good. And yeah, Partition on level 6s. So the level 6s that you used to make this guy, you just get them right back. So that's really good. Yeah, and Barrier and Blocker. Wow. It's got all kinds of stuff.
A bunch of Leos have on plays, so they're just benefiting you.
Right. Is the Boncho in this set? I can't remember.
No, I don't think it is. I think they were. I think by the way it was looking, I think when me and you were talking about it, is I think it's supposed to play off the Fortitude stuff.
Yeah.
As well, since that's like a kind of a black-green mix.
Yeah, from the EX5. On player, when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. All turns, once per turn. When a Digimon becomes suspended, you may have one of your opponent's Digimon get minus 4,000 DP and gain security tank +1 until the end of their turn. That's the Boncho there. But he's not... This one isn't specific to... it has to be Boncho or anything. Like, yeah, Boncho Leomon's, arm there is there, right? But it can be any yellow level 6 and then any black level 6, so...
I think it makes the Fortitude deck for the Leo Fortitude version a lot better, because you have one stack that is yellow green and you have another stack that's blue green or black green. So it's just like you can DNA in that deck if it really comes down to it for Fortitude, giving Fortitude a bit more power since it died out.
Right. Yeah, let's pull that up. So yeah, we got the heavy Leomon there, just for everyone at home here, including myself. You're running heavy Leomon and Boncho Leomon in that same deck, so you could just combine both your Leomons into that Chaosmon. So you don't even actually have to run it into with the other guy there, Darktramon.
Actually, you actually get support in this set too for Leomon. I'm having to find it. Yeah. Okay, so you get a new card called Mad Leomon, which is purple-green. It digivolves from either rookies for a cost of 2. It's got, when digivolving, this Digimon may digivolve into a card with Leomon in its name in the hand or trash. But the big thing is the inheritable end of attack. By deleting this Digimon, you may play a level 4 or lower Digimon card from trash without paying the cost. So if you go into like any of your stacks that are like, oh hey, we have Fortitude, you can go, okay, swing with this, go into like, let's say Loader. Loader activates. If Loader survives, you can go end of attack. We'll delete it and play another Mad, and we'll get the Fortitude one back. So you're basically playing 2 bodies off 1 swing.
Yeah. It's crazy good, because you just keep evoing on top of this Mad Leomon, and he's just going to keep playing himself out. So you just keep evoing like your level 5 Fortitudes, and then swing, and the end of attack will pop it, and then you just play them both right back out. So good. Yeah, and it's just like a random like purple card in here, right? It's just like not really included in anything that they come across, like the Chaosmon here. Like it's not really a part of that. It's just like, hey, here's an extra Leomon card that is going to like be incredible for your Leomon players. So
Some that I think would be really good is like if you somehow build a stack into Chaos, Mon, you're like, okay, swing, end of attack, we'll blow it up, so we'll play a Leo, we'll play our 2 level 6s back. So you're playing 3 bodies off that.
Yep. All right, man, this is taking a long time. We're already an hour into this. Man, I don't want to end it here, but we still have so many decks to talk about. All right. We're going to talk about one more. So we're going to have to split this up. We're going to have to cover the rest of these, unfortunately, next week. So we have to pick Rapidmon to cover or Magnamon X to cover. Like, which one do you guys want to hear about more? Rapid or Magna? Let's see.
I'd rather do Rapid. I love Rapid. We've talked a lot of VMon today, so.
All right, I threw a poll in the chat for you guys, so you quickly vote on that. You don't have to worry about typing in chat or anything. Which one do you want us to cover before we have to get out of here? So, Rapid, 100%. Oh Jesus, well, I'm sure there's just one vote there currently, but
What are you talking about? It wasn't my vote.
Yeah, both are going to be really good though. Like when you talk about BT16 meta, like these two are probably at the top of it. I feel like Magnamon.
Okay, we got told to talk about green hybrid, so we're gonna definitely do that right now. Okay, so green hybrid, it's bad.
Oh, poor Austin, trying to make everything under the sun work except the terrible stuff that everybody hates. So
I want green hybrid to be good. I really do.
it needs so much work though. I'm really looking forward to our next wave of hybrid support because there's a lot of colors that have been really lacking hybrid support.
Okay, so I can't read that name because dyslexia. Do you think it's viable to play pure Rapidmon, or would it just be better to play Rapid Armor? So either or, honestly, I think, because it works out both ways. Because you could just play like your entire bottom end be the Golden Rapidmon for your level 4s, and then your level 5s could just be like different versions of Rapid.
Yep.
So I see arguments both ways when talking to people. So I like Rapid Armor, but I'm running the deck completely different because I'm doing a vaccine version build where I'm okay, here's my golden armor, and I'm gonna go 1 cost option, so I just warp.
Yeah, the vaccine armor deck is pretty good as well. Like you could do like just like the golden rapid armor stuff and like still come out in a great position, but also like the vaccine armor is, I don't know, arguably better, but the results that I've seen are pretty much tied on how well they do. So I think you're fine either way though. Like as long as you're playing like your armors right that your Rapidmon X can go over, like I wouldn't play just level 5 Rapidmon. So like you need to work in the level 4s as well. Just you're gonna have more targets.
I just think it's whichever one you have more fun with, especially for that deck.
Oh yeah.
Which one do you think is gonna have higher consistency?
Right. All right. So it seems like votes have stopped. So yeah, we are on Rapid then. So we will talk about Rapidmon this week, and next week, 6 o'clock, we'll pick up with the others here. So let's go ahead and talk about some Rapidmon X antibody. I know you're super excited for this. I have mixed feelings. I'm already torn between so many decks that I can't justify also this one. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to decline playing this because I'm so excited about so much other stuff.
I'm just so excited because I get to do that vaccine deck I was just talking about, where my only level fours are only Rapidmon, and I
Yep.
run like only Magna Aces and just four of these guys.
Yep.
Because yeah, if you get this in security, you can just go, okay, Emissary of Hope, digivolve your level 4 into a level 6 for one cost.
Yep.
And then do all the wind digivolving effects and make it everyone's problem.
Yeah, because and so also keep in mind like your Patamons can evo into your level 4s for free, right? Because all your golden Rapidmons are all vaccines. So that's gonna be really great for like this combination deck. But so what is Rapidmon X? Like what's why build all the way around this as him as the focal point? So he's got Armor Purge, so you don't have to worry about losing your stack. When digivolving, suspend all your opponent's Digimon, then this Digimon may attack. So even if you pass turn with this, you still get to suspend something and you still get to attack with it immediately. And it doesn't even have to, it doesn't specify what the target has to be. It can be the player, it can be the Digimon. So say your opponent's got a blocker out there, they got no security. I'm going to Evo Rapidmon. He's going to suspend that blocker and I attack for game, right? He's nice and flexible about that. And then all turns, while Rapidmon or X antibody is in the Digimon Digivolution cards, all of your opponent's suspended Digimon get -4K. And I think you're the one that sent it to me, or I saw it somewhere. But this is an all turns effects, so stuff dies before like certain effects trigger, like when attacking effects and stuff like that. If they die to this -4K, that's it. Like they don't get anything because this is a persisting effect, or I forget how they worded it, but yeah, it's like a persisting effect that it's always in place. So the moment the conditions are met for that -4K to be applicable, it is before any other effects trigger. So if they attack with something, it gets the -4K before like any other like when attacking effects go off or anything like that. So it can be super gnarly. And then all turns once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted in battle or by having 0 DP, gain 2 memory. It's only once per turn, but it's all turns. So you can trigger this during your opponent's turn, which is going to be really, really strong. Again, they attack with something, boom, they put that -4K on themselves. And if they die, then boom, you just gain 2 memory.
Also, yes, Rapidmon has to be unsuspended to attack for the wind digivolving. Sorry, I was reading a comment.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Yeah. And then, yeah, so really, really strong. Also helps with his wind digivolving. So you could digivolve, even if you have to do for the 4, or say, like what you're talking about, the digivolve for 1 with Emissary, and then you kill something, then boom, you gain 2 memory. So it's like you just +1, and you got into your your big boss monster of your deck.
Another thing with the way that like the vaccine builds, like you could get 2 of these on board very easily, and they're just like, okay, swing, and you're like negate.
Yeah. Yeah, super. Yeah, this is why like this deck is like one of the 2 best decks in BT16, is because how oppressive they can be, right? Like you basically turn all their rookies off from getting chip damage in, all kinds of stuff, right? And even like their big stuff, like your opponent basically can never swing over your guys, because even if you leave yourself suspended, right, you're going to be in a good position. And yeah, Amon, this that effect, the where you can attack, because it doesn't have the line afterwards without suspending, because that's how like the Arrestdramon superior mode, I believe, or regular Arrest. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's superior mode. He has that special little bit of text saying that he doesn't have to suspend. So if he's already suspended, he can still attack. But this guy, yeah, he's got to be unsuspended to get that attack in. So yeah, very, very oppressive stuff. And there's a lot of Rapidmons here. I'll go ahead and pull up all the Rapidmons there are. So yeah, we've got 3. Is it 3 or 2? I thought we had. I guess it is only 2 level 4s, but we also have, you know, all the level 5s as well to go with it. So you have a lot of choices of what you want to do.
TL Spidey. No, the vaccine version isn't. It's just better. It's just I'm playing it weirdly because I want to be different.
And that is it.
We
It was popular in JP though. Like I would say they're equally as popular, and they're pretty much equally on the same level between the two, really. Because one is like hyper efficient in evoing, but then the other one is going to have like more utility pieces, right? Because you're going to have like, your alliance and things like that to work in.
Yeah. Very, very, very much.
Yeah, because it runs the Terriermon engine, so you can get a lot of value in a lot of that stuff. So just a little bit different, but yeah, not any better or any worse, I don't think.
So
Keep your head up. Keep your head up, Almond. I think it's gonna be fine. Either way, because yeah, both are gonna be good, and then also because if you're playing bunnies, you also get access to like Mega Gargamon as well. You don't have to just be solely based around, okay, I can get into just this one boss monster and my whole deck revolves around this one thing. And this can lack a little bit of power, right? I mean, he's got a nice little control, small end control ability here, and he's got Armor Purge, right? He's only 11k. He's not like crazy good, but if you combine it with like rabbits and you've got like Mega Gargamon Ace here, it's a whole different element that your opponent has to be ready for, because you can have your level 5 like this Rapidmon here, which is great for Mega Gargamon to go on top of, because he can block, and then boom, all turns you trash one of your opponent's security stat because you blocked with your Mega Gargamon. The Digivolve is all right, but yeah, that inheritable is really good to go with Mega Gargamon. But you have that versatility, which I really like, as well as you have access to all the Alliance stuff as well, if you want to go that route with a deck, like combining Alliance with the Golden Rabbit stuff. Would the match spread be different? That is dependent on, I would say, the meta. It depends on where the format goes, and ultimately the Rapidmon, your golden armor stuff is going to be the most important thing, because that DP minus is going to be huge, because expect there to be just as many, if not more, Magnamon players that are going to be out there. And so getting around Armor Purge, the mirror match, all that fun stuff, DP minus is huge, because that gets around Armor Purge, because they Armor Purge away and the DP minus stays, and then so that thing dies, right? So yeah, DP minus is really powerful. So as long as you're playing your golden armor stuff, like, I think you'll be fine. So whatever combination you want to add to it, think about how to basically deal with that mirror match, because that's gonna be really tough. So if your deck is flexible, then you'll be able to do better. If you're playing a mirror match, I think the rabbit version would be better, because you're going to have alliance. So you're going to be able to swing. You're going to have that DP minus on you, but then you alliance and give yourself a DP boost right back with security tank +1, so you can be more aggro with the deck, rather than the vaccine version, which is really like hyper efficient at evoing, so you can get turbo up into your pieces faster, and that sort of thing. But once you're there, you're just there, right? You don't have all that extra utility besides like the Magna Angemons with recovery. That's really their only bit of like extra bit of utility, I would say.
Yeah. And the other thing again with the vaccine version is, if it breaks, you're breaking. You're breaking out for a while. Is it for you just said to get everything fixed?
Yeah. We did not talk about Fenrir. That's going to unfortunately have to wait till next week. I will go ahead and add in the Soul, though, because I know you were excited to talk about that one. So we'll go ahead and remove the ones we already talked about, and then we'll leave the rest of these guys here for next week. So next Monday, same start time, 6 p.m. Central, and then we're going to pick up where we left off. So we'll end that one out with Rapidmon X, but we'll talk about these guys. And if there's anything not on this list here, let me know. So if you want to put it in the comments, because I'll get all the notifications and everything like that. If there's any decks that are getting support, like we're going to try to stay away from talking about just the general meta in general. We're going to try to focus on like what's in BT16 changing things. What are we getting that's going to change the format that's, you know, specifically from this set. So that's what we'll pick up next week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hey, what's up? I'm actually working on the vaccine variant of Rapid. Hey, I mean, that's going to be a good one. I think I've got one pulled up. I'll give you a quick, I don't know, you could say teaser. This is just one of the builds I was looking at earlier. And so your lower end is, of course, your Patamons, right? So you're evoing for free. They're using the Uka stuff just to have more consistency so you don't brick, because you can turbo up so fast that you got to be careful not to turbo so fast that you don't have your pieces. They're running the Magnamon X antibody as well, which I thought was pretty awesome. Talk about an expensive deck, though. Jeez Louise. And then, yeah, your Messenger of Hopes here is going to allow you to just evo into anything you want for that one memory of what a heat cost, right? And then your Patamons are going to help you set back up all your pieces. And then your level 5s is going to be all your blast evo targets here. Although they went heavy into the Rise Greymon, which I thought was really neat. So, again, same thing what we were talking about with the Rapid build. If you're like pure bunnies, then you're going to, you know, be able to be a little bit more aggro with Alliance. They chose to help offset that by including a Rise Greymon here. But you have to have 3 Yellow Tamers in play, so that takes time to set up. So, I don't know. It was an interesting like include in this build, but that, unfortunately, is probably where we're pretty much going to have to end it. I don't think Vikmon's going to be very good, unfortunately. It did not have any results, unfortunately. I don't think it's not like crazy powerful. So it's got the Blast Evo, when Digivolving, Digivolve 2, one of your opponent's Digimon, then all of your opponent's Digimon with 1 or fewer Digivolution cards can't suspend until the end of your opponent's turn. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 1 or fewer. It's not enough, I don't think, to really make it super effective there. Even with in Blue Flare, I don't think. Alrighty, well, with that, we will catch you guys next week. So make sure you come back and get the rest of our discussion on our new BT16 decks.